And I'm Barbara.
Welcome to Healthy Fall Instant Pot Cooking, presented to you by the Gwinnett County Library.
So what we're going to start with is we're going to make some baked apples. We're going to try to make them healthy. You can put nuts and raisins and anything in there, but I'm going to try this morning just to make them as healthy as we can. So what you do is just take an apple. Now I'm using Honeycrisp apples, but I believe any kind of apple will work. So I'm just taking the core out of this apple, and I'm going to show you that it's going to be, we're just going to stuff it with some butter and some cinnamon. And that's the healthiest way you could do this. You can put anything in there. Let me just get all these seeds out. Take them longer than I thought. So I'm just going to put a little butter in each one of the top of the apples, just to have it stick. Now in my pan, I've got a rack and a solid pan in there so the juice of the apples will not run out into the bottom of the pot. So let me just put a little butter in the middle of all these, and that will melt. Okay, I think that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle just a little cinnamon on them, just to give it some sweetness and some flavor. And I'm putting them in the pot. Now I do have a rack and a cup of water on top of this pan, so all the stuff will stay into the metal pan, and that way we could always pour it on top of the apples when they are done. Okay, there they are. So I'm going to put the lid on, set it for 7 minutes, sealed, manual, 7 minutes. It's already set for that. And so now it's going to begin all by itself. 4 minutes have passed, so we're now going to release the pressure on the pot. And to do that, be very careful. Use something that will not burn you because it is very hot. As you see, the steam will come out. And as the pressure releases, this red button will fall, and then you can open your pot. At this point, for safety reasons, the pot will not open when the red button is still up. It's dropped. Now I can open the pot. Here I go. Okay. And here we are with our apples. See? Now, the problem with this is I'm going to have to take the apples out individually. As I'm taking the apples out, you see all the juice inside, which can be used to pour back onto the apples because they're all cooked and could be served with ice cream or yogurt as they cool. So now I will try to get this pan out, which will be hot, but see all the juice? So I'm just going to pour it right on top, and we can use it, butter and cinnamon. How bad can that be? And there we are. So now we have made baked apples in the Instant Pot.
Hey, so I am going to do for you all of the really heavy root vegetables that normally heat up your house so much. We're really craving the squash and the sweet potatoes and the pumpkins. But living here in Georgia, many times in the fall, it can be 80 degrees outside, and who wants to leave their oven on for an hour and a half to bake a bunch of sweet potatoes, a pumpkin, or an acorn squash? Any of those items can be cooked in the Instant Pot in just a fraction of the time. Today, I am going to make for you some pumpkins so that we can make our very own pumpkin puree instead of using a canned. Now what I've done is I've gotten one of the little pie pumpkins. They're the little small ones. They're not the big ones that you use for carving a jack-o'-lantern. I have cut out the top, and I have taken out the seeds and the stringy material inside the pumpkin. The pumpkin goes in just like this. You can put the top back on. It goes in the Instant Pot with a cup of water at the bottom. We're going to put on the lid, set it to sealing, and we're going to pressure cook on high pressure for 13 minutes. See you in a few. All right, you can just take a knife and cut this in half or in quarters. You can see it comes out really, really nice. The outside shell of the pumpkin is really hard. It's really easy to just scoop it out. And I'm just gonna scoop it, look at that, right back into the pot. I'm going to puree this with a little bit of water because I'm going to freeze this puree. And so I just want to give it a little bit of extra moisture. Right. So we just put it in here. I'm going to give it a couple little chops with my spoon. And then I'm going to use my immersion mixer. And we're going to make it into a puree. This is so simple. I could not believe when I did this the first time how easy this was. Really, it's washing a pumpkin, seeding a pumpkin, and there you have it. 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now that may vary pumpkin to pumpkin, but again, remember that you're getting the pie pumpkins, the small little ones at the grocery store. Don't get a big jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. They're very stringy and they aren't as sweet. So we are going to now use this pumpkin puree to make pumpkin soup. Okay, so now we are ready to make our pumpkin soup recipe. This is a healthy pumpkin soup. Most of the recipes for pumpkin soup that you're going to find are going to contain milk, cream, sugar, and just aren't as pure as they could be. This is a dairy-free recipe. It can be made vegan. We are not making it vegan today. We are using chicken broth, but you can substitute vegetable broth and make this a vegan recipe if you so choose. So I have left the pumpkin puree, which this is the pumpkin I did yesterday. This is 1 small pumpkin makes approximately 2 cups of pumpkin puree. The recipe calls for a can, which is 15 ounces, which is fine. We have just a little bit extra in our pumpkin puree from our pumpkin. Now to that, we are going to add 3 cups of chicken broth. Got a little extra here for us. We are going to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1 can of coconut milk, and they prefer the full fat variety. I believe it's giving it the texture that we need in our pumpkin soup. Half of a medium onion chopped. And then salt and pepper to taste. I used about 1/4 teaspoon pepper and about 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Dump that in. I'm just going to give this a stir. Get it all combined. And then we are going to set the lid back on the pressure cooker. Make sure it is sealed. We are going to pressure cook for 8 minutes. We'll see you in a few. Hey everybody, we are here. Our 13 minutes of pressure cooking time has expired. We are now going to safely, quickly pressure release our soup. And remember that if you have this under a kitchen cabinet, you want to pull it out from under the cabinet when you pressure release. All of this steam can take off the finish on the bottom of your kitchen cabinet. So keep your kids away. All right, now we are ready to go. It has finally released all of its pressure. Oh, you can see it's still bubbling. I'm just going to give this a quick stir before we put in the immersion mixer. There's still a few little chunks of pumpkin in there, but oh my goodness, this smells good. All right, so now we are going to put the immersion mixer back in the soup. We're just going to mix this up. As you can see with this recipe, it isn't as thick as most pumpkin soups that you would normally have, but much, much healthier. All right, we are set. Look at that, awesome. This is the pumpkin soup. You can, if you wanted to have roasted the pumpkin seeds from the pumpkin, you can top this with roasted pumpkin seeds. You can buy the roasted seeds at the store. They're called pepitas. You can get them at any grocery store. I've even seen them at Aldi. And so this is the pumpkin soup. There are 6 servings that are made in this recipe. Enjoy. We hope that you had a great time watching our video on how to do some healthy fall Instant Pot cooking. The library has lots of Instant Pot cookbooks. This one is Indian. I know we have Asian. So if you're looking for some additional flavors to add to your Instant Pot, these are great resources. Some of these cookbooks are also available online through your tablet, through our Libby or Overdrive app. Barbara, you've got some extras.
Yes, here's a instant and healthy cookbook. Looks like a little chicken noodle soup on the cover. And here's one. This is Instant Loss. This woman lost over 100 pounds using the Instant Pot. I'm gonna have to check that one out myself. And here's some family meals. Here's a book on family meals. That one should be good to look at.
This concludes our fall cooking program. Barbara and I will be back on December 10th for a healthy Instant Pot peppermint cheesecake. Make sure and join us then. These are our fall pumpkin soup and baked apples. Enjoy!